Hi, in this video, I want to talk about another very interesting interview question that I come across with, and the question goes like this: write a function that takes two strings as parameters, string S and string P, and returns a boolean denoting whether the string matches the pattern. So S stands for string and P stands for pattern. So P is a sequence of any number of the following. So it can only be A to Z and dot or star. So when it's A to Z, it stands for itself. When it's a dot, which matches any character, and when it's with a star, which matches with more occurrence of the previous single character, and can be zero occurrence. So basically, it means if we load the pattern into an array, and the star should be attached to the previous character, and when we have the input string everything the same, but between D to A we have multiple F, or we don't have F, then it's still going to return true, because F star can be either ignored, zero occurrence, or have a multiple occurrence, as many occurrence you want. So so three steps. First, write our function, write a customized queue, and put an instance method called pass pattern, load the pattern into the queue, then write an instance method that's going to return the boolean, and check the input array, input string, and load them into array and check with our queue. And we will test these things, these examples that were listed in the original video, which I will put a link down below, and with our own input parameters. Let's get started. Class Q, gonna taking a constructor function, call it Q. Okay, and we say this property Q equals to Q. Okay, next, parse pattern, taking the pattern. Then we can load them into a single string first. So split. TQ to the array, so that when we come to F, the star will be the first element of the pattern array. Alright. Okay. Next, we need to shift the star so that by the next one we just put in A and we ignore the star in our string. So okay. Else let's test our solution. Okay, probably should be here. Console.log. Let's comment out this code first. And we say let's initialize the queue with array first. Let's test it out. it is the correct. And let's move on to the last insertion method. Okay, we can call it pattern array. Just make it this.q, like result boolean equals to true first. Rather immediately invoke the function, call it checker or tracer, take in a few parameters. Let's initialize it with input array dot shift and pattern array dot shift. So the both q, dq, and dq and dq and map with each other. All right. So we can call this current. Okay, input element. And the second parameter current. Okay, what do we call it? Pattern element. Okay, let's write our function. So in here, first we check, define a base case. All right. Define base case. When do we stop? Ideally, when the string length is the same, we want to have both array empty. All right. So should be equals to undefined. Undefined. If that's the case, we return. Else if, let's make it simple for us. Later we will, fill them up to deal with the edge cases. Okay, I paste the wrong thing here. So if one of them is undefined, right, after we check them, if they are both undefined, we just simply say if one of them run out while the other one is still having value. So the intuitive thing to do is to declare it's false, then return. But okay. Next, we'll check if it's a star or not. So current element dot at index of 1. If it exists, of course, we have a star situation of the current pattern element. If that's the case, first thing first. If current element equals to current pattern element at the index of 0, we should do the checker and return the next current element is going to be input array dot shift, and our current pattern element should stay the same. Else if, alright, if they're not equals to each other, let's check the current pattern element, and if it's equals to the dot, then it means we can do whatever we want, because if it's dot star, then you can just do something like this and they will still work. And let's just paste the same code here. Actually, we can just do the return here, because it basically means that we can do whatever we want in the pattern. But yeah, let's not make it overly. Yeah, actually, I think this works. Let's just do the return. Okay, else if it's not equals to each other, I think our strategy here is very simple. We ignore the thing completely, even if we don't have any elements, right? So in here, we just do checker, input array shift. Input array don't need to shift. We retain the current input element, and we move on with the element we have for the pattern element, right? So input, okay, pattern, okay, shift. So I name these things very explicitly, so they can be easily think of when you have a lot of if-else statements. So it's just my personal experience. So if current element is not a start value, we can just do something like this. Okay, oh my god, did I just do this? Made me really nervous right there. Okay, if that's the case, we just do check input array should move on, so shift, and so does the pattern array because we are now start value, shift, and else if current element, okay, if they're not equals to each other and our current element is equals to our dot here, then we still do the same, move on, and else okay, else if current input element is not equals to pattern element, I think we are safe to say our result boolean should be false, and we should return. Alright, so by the end of this check function, we just need to return our result boolean. That will do. But yeah, what I mean is, yes, the else if statement should still be improved, because if when we run off of the input element here, what if the last element is a start value, right? AA is gone, A star retained, so we need to check that here, but then we need to understand what's the previous one. So check if it's false or true, because what if the last element behind it is a dot, and then we need to check when if we have a star element here, because if we don't have it, this should be false, right? So anyways, there's just a lot of improvement you can do, but I will just do some edge cases so we can pass these examples that were given in the original video. So if the star value is here, then we should probably, when we retain the current pattern element, we should pass in previous. So we just say it's true. Okay, I think it will do just fine. And in here, let's check. So if our previous is true, so if it's true, else we do the return false, right? And if its previous is true, okay, we don't do return. We should at least check if there are, so if so this case should be oh, pardon, array is shift defined. We move on, right? Else we should return. Okay, I think that makes sense. So if the start value is the last element, we just return and return true and whatever. But if remaining node is not undefined, then we will check if it's a dot or not. All right, something like this. Okay, probably. Actually, we can do a while loop and add in two parameters like a count, like something, so that we can map this dot previously to the characters, but that would be just too tedious to do. But you get the idea. I think we will just do. Okay, let's just finish it. I think we should at least have the courtesy of checking if there's any remaining node left as not dot. All right, and we'll stop there. Okay, so uh, so do the shift here, and if nothing. Okay. So what we can do here is well this re-identify. Okay. Because we are writing a lot of if else here, but it's necessary. Okay. I think this is going to do it. Let's just test it out. I think we are done. Okay, so put this aside first. True is not a function. Okay, it means that we didn't put a comma here because it's a invoke. Our compiler has confused. Okay. Remove the thing here. Let's run again. False. Why is that? ASDF. Okay, let's debug it. So it's normal when we have so many characters. So when we hit this first, so f is equals to f, we move on, where's the current element? Okay, why is it returned false? Why is it returned false? I think it's supposed to be move on, right? Because it didn't go in here, it go into the return column. Because we should pass in the pattern parameter here. Okay, problem solved. This time it's going to be true. All right. Sometimes it happens. You just write something out wrong, and everything goes south. But the key thing here is remain calm. So, okay. False. True. Okay, nothing. So basically it means, okay, we didn't save. Okay, true. Okay, great. False. Correct. True. Correct. Lastly, true. Okay, I hope you like this video, and if you if you have any suggestions on how I can improve this code, please do leave a comment below, so that we can improve together. So this is how I resolve this question. So thank you for watching and have a good day.